of phubbing. It is defined as the act of snubbing someone in a social setting by looking at your phone instead of paying attention to them. Are you guilty of it? I ask because it can be more than just rude. It can cause disturbance and distance in your relationships. Today, we are learning more about its impacts and how not to fall victim to phubbing. Joining me now virtually with more is Susan Harrington. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist with Maison Vie. Susan, are you a phubber?
Oh no, but my wife is.
What? Ooh, and I know she's watching this right now, so hopefully this segment is gonna help her out for sure. I gotta ask you, why do you think this is becoming such a common thing in relationships these days?
Oh, I don't know. You know, we have this thing where we get involved in talking and texting and tweeting and trolling and bumping and lurking. The list of languages is insane. What we do know that cell phones do is they're designed to activate our dopamine receptors. And so that is a feel-good hormone, and we react to that. Like we want more of that, right?
It totally makes sense. We love that happy hormone for sure, but I like getting it in person. I'm definitely not a phubber. But for people out there who are wondering, what are some of the traits to look out for to know if you are a phubber or you're getting phubbed? What can you tell us?
So those traits about phubbing are all about doing something with your phone as opposed to doing with the people who's with you, right? So the traits for them, if you want to talk about that, are things like what we have here listed on the screen. It's why your phone is more important than other people. You know, you have it with you at the table, you go out to a restaurant, it's right there. You know, you want to look at that and not be in a conversation as opposed to talk with them. When the notification goes off, you have to see, might even while they're still talking with you, you pick up your phone and you look at it, you're not maintaining that eye contact. Those things are really important that when we look at that, if we're sitting with our partner, like you see on the screen in that image, as they go to the next slide, that what we're going to do is, even if a commercial is happening and it's our opportunity to talk with them or talk about what we're watching or something else, we pick up our phone instead. That has all those phone snubbing pieces.
It's so
commercial
true.
break. It is. Go ahead. It's fine.
And I'm curious, you know, when it comes to like your wife, for example, or relationships I've been in, my friends as well, what do you think it is about their phone that makes them so, you know, tied to it, especially when I'm right here or she's right there?
Exactly. So what happens is we have this belief inside of us. It's kind of a double. The dopamine receptors are there and get activated. And when we connect with somebody, that isn't natural. We are social human beings. And so the dopamine receptors get activated. Oh boy, somebody wants to talk with me. Somebody wants to tell me something. I need to know what that is. And we get into a belief of I need to see it, I need to know it, I need to talk about whatever everybody else is going on about. Have you noticed that? And that's what activates the dopamine. However, what a cell phone does is when that notification happens, it also releases cortisol, which is a stress hormone. And so we end up in this pleasure anxiety loop that just goes around and around and around and around. It makes us have to, the compelling begins to happen.
It makes so much sense. And look, I used to serve tables all through college, and that was one of my biggest pet peeves when I would serve a table, two people right there. Clearly they were in a relationship, but they're just on their phones the whole time. What sorts of impact can phubbing have on a relationship?
Absolutely. So just imagine that we're sitting together and one person is or one person isn't. So I want to indicate that when both partners phub, it's called double phubbing. We have a whole language of all around this word. I was amazed. Even the word program on my computer recognizes the spelling already. It was amazing. So what happens in the partnership is the relationship satisfaction drops, conflict increases because they're not being listened to, and intimacy declines, decreases. So we end up in this place where our relationship now has emotional disengagement. That means that we're not emotionally connecting, we're getting further apart. Partners' feelings begin to feel uncared for, they think they're not being valued as a person, they don't matter as a person. And what I'm learning as a marriage and family therapist is that infidelity is on the rise, and there's a connection to it.
The less intimacy is hopefully raising a lot of ears for people who are watching this right now. You see that? There are some definite negative impacts for sure. But I gotta ask you this, Susan, like, how do we navigate somebody who is like, the phone is my safe place, or maybe they're nervous on the date, so they're checking their phone to not say something that's gonna not get them the second date, even though being on your phone, in my opinion, is not gonna get you a second date with me.
Oh, now you're talking about that pleasure anxiety cycle where we get stuck in. The connectivity is, at this point, we know it's addictive. That they've set that up in the computer. I don't know who designed a cell phone. We know that there's a electronic device within it that literally is designed to activate the dopamine and the anxiety response with cortisol. And so we get stuck and we don't think about, I'm with you. What we think about is that addictive draw, and that's the harm.
It is so interesting, Susan. Phubbing is not cool. And look, everybody, if you find yourself in a phubbing relationship and you need help from a professional, you can contact Susan Harrington about her teletherapy services. Just log on to MaisonVieLA.com or give her a call at the number on your screen. You can also find her on social media as well. Now look, coming up next, now that we've talked about what phubbing is and how it can negatively impact your relationship, it's time to get some tips to help you reconnect. Susan Harrington has some ideas when we come back. Don't move.